Oh my gosh, it is so early, but we're up and we're at 'em. So if you guys are just tuning in to the vlog series, be sure to catch my last few videos in which I describe where I'm at right now in my schedule of, you know, medical school life. So I am in my dedicated study period for my USMLE Step 1 board exams. Crazy time, you guys, crazy, crazy time. And today I am officially 1 week away from test day. Low-key freaking out, but still I rise. So here we are today on Friday, 6 a.m, bright and early. I'm not a morning person, but I'm up and you guys can see I'm chipper. It's due to my anxiety, so that's that. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get the day started. Today, I am going to be taking my last practice test before my real test, you guys. Last one. They recommend you not to take practice tests in the week of your tests leading up to your real test. It's kind of just like a psychological thing. You know, you don't wanna psych yourself out or not see the score you want and you start getting like really, really freaked out and anxious. So today will be my last one. So let's go ahead and get this day started, you guys. Okay, so clearly no one was here overnight because this is all of my whiteboarding that was here last night when I was here. So clearly no one came and cleared the board off. So if you're asking, Julia, why are you in that big sweater in June? Ask no further. It's because the building doesn't do a good job of like temperature regulation. So in this room, it's really, really cold sometimes, and that is not conducive to studying. So I like to wear bulky sweaters or cardigans or light jackets or something just to stay warm and comfortable while I'm studying, because that really like throws me off otherwise. But while I get my stuff all out and ready, yeah guys, so I'm a week out and I'm not going to lie to you guys, like I have not been sleeping as well as the weeks prior. Before, I was sleeping like a baby. I was tired every night. I was like, you know, going to sleep, sleeping through the night. Now it's like I'm still tired, but I think the anxiousness and the nerves are really setting in heavy, and like I literally am dreaming about step 1, you guys, like biochemistry, immunology, like everything. I feel like I'm literally dreaming about questions. It's ridiculous, but it's really like making me anxious, and that's why I'm up so early today. I want to get my day started. It's like it's like really the home stretch, and that's freaking me out, but still we persevere. We are almost there, you guys, almost there. So yeah. Another really important thing that I want to make sure I mention in this video is burnout, you guys. And I'm not sure how much I've talked about burnout before. So what my definition of burnout would be something along the lines of like mental, physical, or emotional exhaustion, or a combination of the three, that results in decreased function and efficiency, and just yields low product, whatever the product is. So in terms of step 1 studying or medical school, it's just you are so burnt out from studying all the time, in combination with like other things that may be going on in your life, that you are not able to function properly, you are not able to be efficient with your time, and you're yielding low results. So at some point when studying for step 1 and dedicated, you reach a point of burnout in which you've been grinding so hard and going so hard for, you know, either so many hours through the day and or so many weeks, right? That you are starting to be so fatigued that you are not producing maximal results. And at some point it becomes disadvantageous, right? Or it becomes counterproductive because you are now yielding lower results than you were. So burnout is real, you guys. So real. So many people, so many medical students are overwhelmed by this test and so anxious, and it's just really bad for our mental health, to be honest. But it starts to wreak havoc on our physical, emotional, and mental well-being, and that burns you out. You know, if you every single day, you know, you guys see in these videos, I'm putting in 12, 13-hour days, and these are hard-working days, right? It may not seem that studying really, oh, like I'd love to just study, you know, for 12 hours a day. That seems like so easy compared to maybe like working full-time or something, but give me the full-time job, you know what I mean? Like, let me be a doctor already, because this studying stuff is, I feel like, is 10 times harder, because I don't know, something about mental brain power, I feel like that requires so much more energy, and that affects like everything, right? It affects your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, and your girl is tired. I feel like I study all day, I really sit in this chair all day, but at the end of the day, I feel exhausted physically. So that just goes to show that it's really interconnected, right? Like, and burnout is real, and you have to take care of yourself. You have to prioritize your well-being, because at some point, you know, staying up all night to study and not taking care of yourself and eating like crap, like all of that is going to start to have opposite results, and it's going to start to negatively affect you instead of those things giving you the upper hand. So all of that to say, I don't feel burnt out per se. I feel like, I don't really know how to describe it. I feel like tired. I feel like I get tired much more quickly. In the beginning of Dedicated, I would be able to go for so many hours and sleep well, and I think the combination of like my nerves and being super anxious and, you know, probably not eating as well as I should be, but all of those things, in addition to still putting in so many hours after so many weeks, I just feel like much more exhausted. I'm not burnt out in the sense of like I can't go any longer, or I feel like I can't function or anything like that. It's just, I need this to wrap up. You know, I need it to be done soon. All right, guys, so practice test time. I am doing my last final practice test before my real exam in 1 week. This is kind of major because this is the last practice test. Like, it's the last one I'm gonna take, and obviously these tests come with scores, and you know, I have a goal score in mind that I'm trying to hit on step 1, and I've come close, but I have not hit it. Of course, I would love to hit my goal score on this last practice test, but we're not even gonna butt that. You know what, we're gonna manifest it. So I'm not even gonna finish that. So I'm going to take this practice test today, and for the next week, then I am just going to be reviewing content, really nailing home like my weak areas and trying to get those points that I would otherwise get wrong, nail down some last minute concepts, refresh things that I haven't seen, you know, in a few weeks and since the beginning of Dedicated, and just really, you know, drive home any last minute points, do any last minute cramming. Which brings me to the thing that I really wanted to mention, which was the sheet of paper or whiteboard, whatever they give you at the testing center, which I've heard different things. Some people say it's like, you know, a piece of paper. Some people say, oh, they gave me a whiteboard because I guess they're going through too many paper and save the trees. I'm not sure, but anyway, you are going to have some sort of ability to write things down on or take notes in the testing center. So what that means for me is that I have a very particular strategy that I use for the sheet of paper. I know some people don't even like to use the paper or don't take any notes or anything like that. They kind of just go full steam ahead. That's not me. I like to like regurgitate things that I may forget out on the paper going into the exam. Similar to most standardized tests, you are not able to write notes beforehand. You're not able to go in with notes, obviously, but on NBME exams, and this is the same for shelf exams during third year as well, at the beginning of the NBME exam, you have to kind of agree to all the terms and conditions and, you know, state that you're not gonna tell people the answers and all of this stuff. And then it feeds you into a 15-minute tutorial, a tutorial where it literally shows you how to use the back button, the forward button, the highlight feature, how to click a multiple choice answer, like very basic stuff. And by the time you get to step one, you have taken shelves and you have taken standardized tests before. Like, you should know how to use the NBME interface. So most people literally just skip that tutorial, skip that 15 minutes and jump right into their test because they're so anxious. Not I, not your girl. No, 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 no. I'm using that 15 minutes. So what I do is I literally take that tutorial time to unload everything that I want to on the sheet, because once you start that tutorial, you are officially in your test. So you can use that 15 minutes for what you want. You can take a nap, you can meditate. Me, I'm writing anything down that I want that will help me, or that I feel like is important that I may forget because I just crammed it, or whatever the case may be. Formulas. So before I've taken every practice test that I have so far, I've used this approach and I've literally regurgitated out formulas, biostats stuff that, you know, you just want to have quickly accessible to you. Just mnemonics that I want to just easily refer to, some biochem formulas or cycles or things that I don't want to, if I get a question, I don't want to have to think through the entire, you know, cycle, TCA cycle, urea cycle, because I may have like drew out a quick like skit of it already, so I can just, you know, easily refer to answer a question quickly and move on. So that is what I use my scrap paper for. And obviously during the exam, I also, you know, might write out a formula, or might, you know, use it for note taking that something I didn't already have on the sheet. But that is my strategy, you guys. And clearly it's mine, doesn't have to be yours. Everything doesn't have to work for everyone, but I'm just saying, if you did not know that fact about that 15-minute tutorial time, utilize it, you guys. Whether it's to take a few deep breaths, woosah, whether it's to literally take a quick nap, or like me, to use it literally to write out things, important things. Whatever the case may be, that's 15 minutes of your time. Skip through it if you want, use it if you must. Okay guys, so I am going ahead and starting my test, and I am utilizing the 15 minutes to do my scrap paper. Of course, now I just had a brain fart and I don't even know what I want to put on the damn paper. Ah! Julia, get it together. What are you doing? Okay, let's start somewhere. Sheesh. It's interesting because I used to use the entire 15 minutes and my sheet would be literally full, but I don't know, now it's just kind of like I've seen some of this stuff so many times that I'm not sure I need to write it out anymore, because it's taking more time to write it out than it would to just think about it. You know, like I'm so comfortable with it now that I could probably just answer a question about it, because if I know it well enough to regurgitate it right on this piece of paper, I could probably answer a question quickly about it. Like, it's right in my recall. So I'm trying to just limit it to things that I want to get on the paper, because it's very easy to fill this entire thing with just stuff that you'll think you'll use. But also you have to be careful, because we may not use all of this information, right? And I don't want to not have space on my paper, because I put so much stuff on it and I don't even have room to like take real notes, or if I need to, you know, plug in something into an equation or something really quick. So just want to be sure to balance those two things, right? But I think I'm pretty much done. I have about a minute to spare. So I'm just gonna sit here, say a quick prayer, send some good vibes up to the universe. Forgot something I wanna write. All right guys, and my time is up, which means we're getting started. So I'm gonna set my trees to plant. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go refer to my other videos. It's a really cool app called Forest that helps you lock into deep focused study by planting trees. And if you use your phone, your tree will die, like if you leave the app and use your phone. So really cool thing to kind of keep you focused, keep you on track. So have my sheet ready. You guys can see it's not too full. I've really cut down on the amount of stuff. If you saw some of my old papers, they were completely full. And just a lot of it I didn't end up using during the practice test. So it was just like, what are you doing, Julia? You just freaked yourself out by like literally scrambling to regurgitate all that information. So I'm gonna keep it cute, keep it classy, keep it short and sweet. And I'm going to jump into this practice test, you guys. Send me good vibes, send me good vibes. And I'll check in with you guys after because we are at the 1 week mark, baby, and it's getting crazy. I'll check in with you guys about halfway through on my break. Oh, I forgot to mention, you guys, what you should be eating. Okay, so actually I didn't eat breakfast, so let me scram to get some of this. So, you guys, what you eat and drink on test day is everything. And you should get into the habit of this. I'm so rude. You should get into the habit of this while you're taking practice tests too, but do not go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or IHOP and eat a full meal before your test day or even before your practice test. Do not eat waffles and eggs and bacon and coffee on test day. Please, 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 please do not. Even back to thinking about like MCAT and GRE, test day and what you do on test day, and it should be so familiar from what you've been doing already, right? So this is why I come to the school at 6:30 a.m. Well, now it's 7, but I was here at 6:30 and simulate taking like my real exam here. I'm gonna do my breaks, all of that, because you don't want to be in a new environment doing completely different thing than what you're accustomed to on test day. You want it to be like, oh, I've done this every 2 weeks or every week leading up to the test, so I'm so familiar with what's gonna happen, what exactly I'm going to do, what I'm gonna eat, what breaks I'm gonna take, all of that. You should be practicing, be taking practice tests. I'm gonna do a whole nother video about practice tests, but what you should eat, guys, please stay away from meals, full-blown meals, coffee, all of that. Protein bars, high energy foods, brain foods, and water. That's it. Something light in the morning if you want like oatmeal or something like that, just so your stomach's like, so you're not hungry or starving during the exam. But keep it light, keep it real minimal, because you just need enough to like keep you going, right? You do not want to get the itis. You don't want to get sleepy during the exam because you ate 4 eggs, bacon, and 3 waffles and syrup, you know, like, you know, like this, you could do that after the test, right? You can leave and go to a restaurant or something, but during the test, you want to be locked in, you want to be focused, you want your brain to have the energy it needs to, you know, good energy it needs to get through, you know, this long day of brain power. So I'm gonna scarf down this granola bar really quickly because I'm not even practicing what I preached and I forgot to eat because I'm so freaking anxious. And so I'm gonna scarf this down, drink some water. Also, stay away from coffee, you guys. I'm a coffee drinker myself, not gonna lie, but in the past week or so, I've really cut down because the reality is it makes you go. And I learned my lesson because 2 weeks ago, I was in the middle of a practice test and that coffee said, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And I was like, no, not now, not today. Please stop. It didn't listen. So kind of messed up my vibe. Had to pause, which I'm not gonna be able to do on the real test, and you know, do my business. So just do yourself the favor, don't drink coffee. If you do, don't drink it with cream. Drink very, very minimal, but I would say try to stay away from it you know, by all means if you can.
I've got really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I seen it in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Say hi, Miss Pammy.
Hi.
It's my friends.
Who's that? Hi, baby.
I've been putting in work, right? Studying. Alright guys, just finished halfway through. That block was tough. Ran out of time. That one was tough. We gotta get it together ASAP. The one good thing is that I recognize everything on the test so far, which is a good feeling, because even if I'm not necessarily getting them right, the worst thing is like to not know at all what's going on in the question or not recognize any of the answer choices. Like, that's a terrible situation to be in, because you can't even really reason through it, right? Because nothing is familiar, nothing in the question or answers is like recognizable to the point where you can use some sort of like judgment or clinical reasoning. So the fact that I've seen everything before is good. That's a good sign, because at least I've done good content review, and now it's just more about making sure I know how to answer questions and how they're asking things, what they're getting at to get the answer right. So we'll see. I feel good so far, but you never know with these tests. You know, you could feel good and then it's like, damn, like I didn't get them right. What's going on? So I'm gonna take a little 5-minute break and then jump back in and get this thing going. We're halfway done. Okay, one more week, guys. All right, guys, just finished my 3rd block. I don't know what it is today, but I'm really short on time. And usually that is not an issue for me, but I am getting down to the wire with my time, and I'm having like a few questions left with like 1 minute left, which is not good. So that's something I'm gonna have to work on in the next week as well, because like I said earlier, nothing is unfamiliar. Nothing's even, I wanna say, go so far as to say like too difficult to the point of like, there's no way I can reason through this. I have no idea what's going on. No, it's just the time, and there's a few little finicky questions, but I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'm going crazy. I don't know if I'm reading it wrong. I don't know. I also struggle with not being able to move on from a question. Like when you know something, and if you just had a little bit more time to think about it, you can get there. That's a struggle for me, because I can sit there and think about a question for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and that's just not acceptable for exams like these, right? Because if you're doing that every few questions, then that is time that you're taking away from other questions. So that's why I'm ending up with not a lot of time at the end and still questions to do, which sucks, because theoretically you may not even get that question right that you sat there and pondered, because eventually you're going to push yourself to move on, right? And you're shorting yourself time on questions at the end maybe that are easy, that you can get, but you're gonna rush through and miss things, or just click answers just to make sure you have an answer for every question. So that's not good. So come on, Julia, like, get it together. So, all right guys, well, I'm gonna head into this 4th block because I just want to get the day over with, honestly. All right, I'm done, guys. Ooh, that was long. That was a long test, very long. Which is crazy because it's not even the full test that I'm gonna take on test day. It's literally only half the test, but it's still 4 hours is a long time to be sitting here just churning out questions. But I don't even want to open the score. I'm like freaking out. Ugh. It's just like so intimidating, you guys. Like, you just want to do well, and so much of it is just like, you know, like you can only do what you can do. So okay, my score is okay. Not my goal score, but it's not too far from it. The only thing is that I've done better on one practice test before this one, so that is kind of like, you know, like I've done better than this before. So so that kind of sucks that I didn't go up. But like I said, today was kind of like a finicky day with these questions. I felt like they were longer. I felt like they were a lot more, like I'm sitting here thinking about them a lot more than just like answering and moving on. So that just the time was getting to me a lot. So I'm sure I could have done better had I managed my time better. So now I'm kind of just looking through the score report, and look, I'm mostly looking at like the subjects and systems, like which topics I was good in, which topics I was weak in. So I'm very glad to see that I have improved in my biochemistry, because I put in a lot of work over the last few days to boost that up, because that's where I was losing a lot of points. I have some work to do in histology, which I knew, embryology, which I knew. All right guys, so now for the rest of the day, I am going to review my practice test as quickly as possible, and then content review. So for this next week, the priority is going to be content, right? Because you can do as many practice tests in the world to kind of test your test taking ability and how you answer questions and your time and all of that, which I still need to work on. But if you are not going back and reviewing your weaknesses, then you're going to continue to get the same questions wrong. You can't memorize your way or test your way out of those weaknesses, right? You have to go back and like review them and relearn them, or figure out what's not connecting to allow you to, you know, not answer the question right. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on for the next week. So I just want to review this test really quick, look at that score report again, write down the topics that I'm weak at, the things that I'm continuing to get wrong, and then go back and make sure I review them. So, because you know, it's gonna be just my luck that, oh, I skip reviewing over that one question, and then it ends up on my real exam, and I'm like, Julia, you knew what you were doing. So that's what I'm gonna do today. You might see me whiteboarding a bit. I like to kind of draw things out and see, especially like different cycles. I like to draw those out, make sure they're nailed home, and we'll go from there. So off to content. Take a quick break, go get a smoothie or something just to take a walk, refresh, clear my mind, so I can go back to studying. I finished reviewing the entire practice test, so now I'm just gonna spend the rest of the day content reviewing, but before I do so, I kind of just wanted to take a quick break and get some fresh air. It's beautiful out here, you guys can see. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, it's a good day. I'm 1 week out. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And of course, it would be just my luck, you guys, that the smoothie place just closed 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, they closed at 5:30, they said was last call. Okay, so who doesn't want smoothies after 5:30? Like, do smoothies just shut down at 5:30? Like, come on, this is the best time of day for a smoothie. Bad energy, but I'm staying positive. So let's go check out the hospital cafeteria and see what they got. I didn't need a smoothie anyway. All right guys, lemonade was the best thing I could find. But still, we rise. Lemonade is good too, so. I just wasn't meant to have a smoothie, but that's okay. I didn't eat all that sugar anyway. So I'm just gonna eat this little bit of chicken Alfredo I had from home. And then we are going to get back into studying, pick back up with some content, keep it going. Look at all of these people also here studying on a Friday night, you guys. Hey guys. Hey, what are you up to? What are you studying? Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I know, yeah, I'm taking it next Friday. The thing about practice test days, guys, is that they take everything out of you. Like, between taking the test, which takes 4 to 5 hours, and then reviewing it, which takes longer most times. It usually takes about 5 to 7 hours to review the test, depending on how many you got wrong, because those you give a little more attention to. But the whole day is like, it's a whole day affair, you know? So it's a long day, and it leaves you with little time to do much else, you know? So I'm gonna get in a few hours of content review, but it's not nearly as much as I would have, and I'm just going to focus on weak areas. So I'm looking at the score report, and like I was mentioning earlier, like certain systems that I continue to get lower scores on. So histology, anatomy, and embryology, like these are things I know and I'm trying, you know? I gotta see more stuff so that, like, I know, you know? It's just so hard for me to grasp, like, anatomy and embryology and stuff. It's like, just ask me what an arm is. Just ask me what an arm is, what a leg is, what a heart is, you know? Like, make it simple. I'm not gonna be an orthopedic surgeon. I'm not gonna be, you know, a neurosurgeon. Don't need to know where all this stuff is. Just ask me about the heart. Just ask me about the heart. But before I forget, I also wanted to mention, you guys, that I love you guys and I appreciate you all so much. And I clearly do not say it enough, because you guys are really dope, and like, y'all really be like hanging in there with me and watching these videos, which is crazy, because I'm like, who wants to watch me like study? But you know, I see all of the comments, I read all the comments, I see you guys' messages, I see your DMs, and I just want to say that I promise you I will respond and get to your messages as soon as I can. You know, this test is really freaking me out, and it's kind of like consuming my entire life right now. But I do scroll through, I read the messages, you guys, and you're amazing, and I love you guys, and my little YouTube family is amazing. So thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for driving me, because literally I would not make these videos if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you guys for being here, you know? And I have some really exciting news about like something I'm going to start on my channel, and I'm gonna save it for post step, a post-step video, an announcement type thing, but I think you guys will really like it. It'll be a way for us all to connect deeper and further, and to really hit on kind of mentoring and advising that I love to do clearly. So it's gonna be a way to definitely do an interactive type of interface like that. So spilling too much, but stay tuned for that. But yeah, I love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you, fam. But now I'm procrastinating. Look at me. So focusing on my weak areas. Respiratory system, it says, okay. The really great thing about them giving you the breakdown of the systems and the subjects that you scored higher on or lower on is that you can see your progress, right? So it's crazy how much things can change from test to test. And for instance, yesterday I spent the whole entire day focusing on content, and I did biochemistry, I did immunology, and I did pathology and pharmacology, general principles. But I really hit home on biochemistry and immunology because those were two weak areas that a lot of memorization. I don't know if you guys remember in my last video, that's what I was doing a lot of whiteboarding on, was like the biochemistry cycles and stuff like that. So I really tried to drive those points home yesterday and focus on them during my content review. And today on my practice exam, biochemistry is in the higher range, like above average range. What? That's crazy. Like above average compared to all of the individuals taking the test that they're comparing against, which is wild, because I was so low. I was on the low end on all my practice tests. And then let's see, immunologic and blood disorders, I'm on the higher end. So huge improvement. So all of that to say, you cannot question your way out of weaknesses. You cannot, memorize it, question your way out of things that you're not at their core understanding. If you need to go back and do content review, do it. If you need to go fill in those weak areas of something you're just not getting, do it, because you're not going to be able to just continue to answer questions and memorize the answer. You're not fully understanding something. It's not clicking. So go back and watch a video on it. Go back and figure out what it is that you need to get it to stick, because that's going to be the way that you'll be able to reason through these questions. So I'm really excited to see some improvement there, because that means that it's working. So in the next week also, I will be doing like a second pass of all the materials. So my first pass took the entire, most beginning part of dedicated. It took about three and a half out of the 6 weeks or 5 weeks to do my first pass of information and see all the content. So now I'm gonna be doing a rapid fire second pass. So literally I'm doing like a full system a day. You're literally just skimming through first aid and making sure like where everything is, and at least that everything looks familiar, like I was talking about earlier, just so you can make the connections in your mind if you need to, but that nothing looks unfamiliar. Something else I was just talking about earlier was you really have to find a way with these tests to organize the information in your mind and be able to rapidly grab your stored knowledge from someplace in your mind. I know that sounds crazy, and it's like, let me explain what I mean. So the thing about medicine is that there's so much damn information, right? I've talked about this in previous videos. You are learning head to toe, in and out, everything about the body. And more than that too, because biochemistry and proteins and all of that, it's like everything you need to know in life if you're learning in medicine. So you need to figure out a way of how to like organize all that information and tie it all together. Because for instance, biochemistry is the bane of my existence, but also it's like very, very fundamental, right? And then you build on that. You have immunology, you have systems, you have pathology. So they can give you a question about the heart and the heart muscle, but you have to figure out a way to pull, okay, the heart, so we're in cardio, the muscle, okay, so thinking about like muscle fibers and structure and all of that, and then down to biochemistry and, okay, at the cellular level, what's going on, how's it using the energy, all of that stuff, so that if they ask you any question about the heart muscle or whatever, that you have a way to like pull the information down from wherever it's stored in your mind in a quick manner. Because like you saw today, I struggled with time. And I think that's why, is because right now, all of the information's in my mind. I've recognized everything on the test, as I was saying, but I'm struggling to pull it together. I'm sitting there thinking about the questions and the answers, because I'm thinking, I've seen this before in biochem. I know it's this pathway because it deals with the heart, and I know that this structure, and I'm just struggling to tie it all together quickly to get to the answer. And that's what I think this second pass should be used for, is to like tie things together, make connections, make quick connections, to anticipate what they're going to ask. That's a whole nother topic, but long story short, getting really good at standardized test taking is being able to anticipate what they'll ask and how they'll ask it. It's a skill that comes with practice, comes with time, but really good standardized test takers, I believe, have kind of finessed and have that skill set, is to really be able to understand the test and how to take tests. So all of that being said, I have a lot to do over the next 6 days, but I feel good. I feel well that like I'm improving, and you know, I really cannot complain. I'm doing all I can do, and that's another thing. At some point, you just have to be content with knowing that you did all you can do, and I've been doing all I could do. If I did any more, I think I would be compromising my sleep, my well-being, my mental health, and that's not good for anyone. So I'm doing all I can do. It's paying off slowly but surely. So we're gonna keep it going for the duration of Dedicated. So, okay, now I'm done, guys. Let's go back to my content review. You guys wanna see something ridiculous? Is this page right here. Like, what was I doing with this highlighting? So counterproductive. Like, I thought that was cute. I was doing that probably 2 years ago when I was learning it the first time around. Like, oh, color coding it would be so, like, help me learn. I'm gonna love the way it looks. And now I'm just like, how can I even read this? This is a mess. A freaking mess. And I didn't even know it then. I was walking around with all these colors and still didn't know what I was doing. Finally do. And now I'm like, get this stuff off. Alright guys, so I have about 10 minutes left on my timer. It's a little over 8 p.m. And I usually stay until about 8:39, so I'm going to go home as soon as my timer's up. I'm starting to get like a pretty annoying headache right now. I think I've just been doing a lot today and my mind is like all over the place, so I gotta like take a break and give myself a rest, because it's like hard to focus when your head is pounding. So I'm gonna finish these 10 minutes and then go home. Wow, look how pretty that sky is, you guys. Not that huge pound of mulch. I don't know what's going on over there, but the sky. I live for a good summer night. I don't know if it's technically summer yet. Is it summer yet? I guess, right? It's June. But I love it. And I like this time of year too, because it's not like too hot, because I'm not a fan of like the super heat, but it's just warm enough that it's like, ooh, this is nice. This rain need to go though. I don't know why it's been raining so much lately. All right guys, well that's it for this video. I think that was enough for the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We are once again officially at 1 week out from test day. So it's encroaching, it's upon us, but I'm gonna keep you guys updated every step of the way. I will do a few videos in between now and test day, and I'm gonna try to do one on test day itself. We'll see how that goes. That's gonna be a wild day, so I will try to manage if I can. As always, love you guys, stay safe, stay well, be sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time.